The three decisions that make or break a trade. We're just going to give you a primer on all the things you hear us say, from rolling up the untested side, managing delta, all those good things. We're going to give you a little primer on that. So when we're taking a trade, there are three main mechanical trading areas we need to look at. So we talk about entering the trade, we talk about defense of a trade, and we talk about exiting a trade. Those are the three main things that you can do. That's all you really can control, is when you enter the position, what you're doing to defend the trade, and then when you exit. It's also probably the most powerful thing that a retail trader has, is that you have flexibility here. You can make this decision. When you're managing a portfolio, big portfolio, or a hedge fund or something like that, there's not a lot of flexibility here. You have to, kind of sit with positions. It's one of the great things that we have the power to do, manage positions and control our entry. We can choose when to enter trades and when to exit them.
Yep.
And so with all of our content, we have talked about the different important factors that we should consider when entering a trade, including the directional assumption. We talked about the IV environment, time frame, and delta. Those are all very important parts of our trading style. And for this study, we're going to focus on how to defend and exit trades. And what we're talking about when we say things are phrases that you might not be used to. So when we talk about defense of a trade, what that means is that after we enter the trade, we can defend our trade with a plan if our trade is tested. When you're tested on a trade, it means that that trade is going against you. If you sell a put spread and you are being tested, it means the short strike is close to at the money. The stock has fallen from when you originally put that trade on. If you're doing an iron condor, you have risk on both sides. When you are tested, it means that the stock is close to one of your short strikes. Today, we're going to talk about and look at two examples, including how we defend strangles and wide iron condors, and kind of just talk through what that mechanic is at its core. We're not going to give you exact specifics, because that depends on your own directional assumption, risk tolerance, how big the position is, etc. But just give you an idea of, if you hear us say, I'm tested on the call strike, I'm rolling up the puts, here is what we mean and why we are doing those sort of things.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying and doing this for forever, but you get a lot of new viewers, and it's new to them. So this is a good little exercise on the silly things that we say.
Yes. So when we are defending a strangle, when we say we are tested on the upside call or tested on the calls, what we are saying is that the stock has gone up from where we put this trade on. So we put the trade on and the stock was at 50, stock has gone to 60, and our 60 strike short call is being tested. There's loss on that call. The untested side is the side that is out of the money. It's now further out of the money. That option is going to lose value. So you're going to have, anytime you're trading a neutral position, you're typically going to have, for a period of time, one option, quote unquote, winning, meaning the stock is moving away from that option, and one option that is quote unquote losing, the stock is going closer to that option. And over time, those options both decay. That's really what you're playing for with the neutral strangle. And they decay because of time decay, because of changes in implied volatility. Hopefully you're starting at high volatility. By the time you close the trade, it's low volatility. But in between that time frame, that period of time where those two factors play out, you're going to have movement in the stock. It's very rare that a stock just sits where it is. You're going to be tested on one, if not both.
Although that'd be cool if you sold premium on both sides.
That would be really great.
Horrible if you bought it or sold it, one directional trade.
I wish every trade I put on, the stock went nowhere, and I just, collected my paycheck every day. But that's not how it happens, and that is a rare occurrence. And so when we say you're tested on the upside, we usually take our untested side, which is the put side, and roll that up. That's our adjustment to a tested call. Same thing on the downside. If we say we are tested on the puts, we're taking that untested call. This is just flipping the graph, and the stock is going down. We roll the call down. Those are the two adjustments intra-expiration. So you put the trade on at 45 days. 10 days later, you're tested on the call side. You're looking to roll up the put. When we talk about time, when we manage at 21 days, what are we doing when we manage the trade? We're taking that position and rolling it out in time. We're reestablishing the time value that has decayed over the original start. So you start with 40 days, you're at 21, You roll that position to a new 40-day time period. You're adding that 20 days to try and capture that extrinsic value and that value over time. So these are the three mechanics of just defending a strangle. You either can, or we could put do nothing on this too.
Sure.
Lean
sure.
directional. Those are. But if you are looking to manage a trade, you're managing the untested side or rolling out in time. Those are the two things you can do. So things change a little bit with Iron Condor. So when we're defending an Iron Condor, these are defined risk trades. So you have to keep in mind that these are, when you put the trade on, you can only lose so much. So you have an embedded.
And you can only make so much.
You can only make so much, of course.
Yeah.
With short
Yeah,
premium.
I'm just giving both sides. Yeah.
Yes, but when you're giving up some of the value, the extrinsic value, to put on a stop loss. That's what it's a strangle
Synthetic stop loss.
with a synthetic stop loss.
Yeah.
The long options are further out of the money. That is going to be relative to whatever your spread width is and how much capital you can use. But these sort of trades, you typically have to be a little bit less aggressive with the management, because when you put the trade on, your management is baked into the trade. Like, you can only lose so much. Your defined risk on these trades. And so typically when we look at defending Iron Condors, we usually have to kind of take a little bit more risk than with the Strangle in terms of delta, like move against you.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit more tested, so to speak, on an Iron Condor, because you already have that hedge in place. And so we get this question a lot of like, why don't you manage the Iron Condor a little bit more, aggressively or the same as you do with Strangles? Well, it's because you're already putting that management on at entry. The same mechanics apply. Like, you're still going to roll the untested side closer to at the money, but you got to kind of be a little bit more flexible with defending an Iron Condor versus a Strangle where, you have a lot more extrinsic value, a lot more risk on the trade, a lot more flexibility with what you can do here versus the Iron Condor, which you define your risk on entry. It is what it is. And so you have that, embedded stop loss too.
Mm-hmm.
So when we exit trades, we look to exit around 50% of the max profit. Again, this is just kind of a metric to hang your hat on. If you get something that moves 20% in a couple days, you're well ahead of the curve, right? The 50% should take 50% of the days. So if you start a trade with 40 days, it should take you 20 days to get to 50% of the max profit. That's just roughly how the math works. If you get to 20% in 2 days or 5 days, you're well ahead.
You've overperformed.
Well, things have worked faster than what you expected. Volatility.
So it's probably time to do something.
Volatility has contracted. You've gotten a directional assumption right if you sold just one side, if you did one side of the trade. Those are the things that are influencing you getting to 50% faster than half the duration. Assuming volatility stays the same and time just passes and the stock chops around between your strikes, it's going to take you roughly half the time. You need to get volatility to work in your favor for this to go faster than that. That's pretty much it.
That is pretty much it.
If by 21 days we have not achieved our 50% of the max profit or somewhere around there, again, I don't sit and say, okay, I'm at 49%, I have to wait till 50. I trade it. If you want to sit and wait, that's totally cool too. But that's a flexibility that you have with being able to manage your own trades. If you're not at your spot at 21 days, you take the position, roll the trade out. That's your next adjustment. And we prefer this to holding until expiration because it reduces the overall risk. You're still taking advantage of volatility. You're adding duration, so you don't have to be directionally correct in the shorter duration that you have, et cetera. So those are just the three mechanics of Strangles and Iron Condors.
Beautiful.
And so we look to exit around 50% of the max profit, and then at 21 days, the 50% max profit is not reached if it is not reached at 21 days. And so we're giving you just a SPY Strangle from 2010 to present. Looking at the win ratios for at expiration earlier than 21 days, so you're just rolling at 21 days and managing at 50% and 21 days. And you can see when you add in the components of rolling at 21 days and managing winners at 50%, you increase basically everything. right? So your win rate is basically the same as at expiration, which is what you would expect. But your average P&L is going to increase, and that's a function of reducing your largest losses, which you're doing because you're managing that trade at 21 days. You're not taking the same risk that you have at that expiration, which you can see is $6,000. If you're just holding this expiration, that's your max pain that you've experienced, you reduce that down to 2,400, which is a 60, 70-ish% reduction in the overall max loss that you experience over this data set. And so that's why your average P&L is going to increase, is because your losses are tighter, like they're not as big. And that goes in line with your standard deviation of P&L. $600, if you're making that, is a better number than $300. But when you're thinking about profits and losses of $300 average versus $600 average, it's a much tighter range. And when you have a more consistent win ratio, a lesser drawdown, and higher average P&L, all those things are going to compound with with that tighter range of P&L. That tighter range of P&L is going to allow you to kind of stair step forward.
Perfect.
So just to sum it up, after we enter a trade, we can defend our trade with a plan. If our trade is tested, we usually roll the untested side, roll out in time. Those are the two mechanics that we have there. When exiting the trade, we look to exit around 50% on the max profit. And then again, our 21-day and 50% profit marks together is the optimal for managing neutral type positions like a strangle or an iron.